Dr. Maya Rodriguez had always dreamed of being the first to meet alien life. She just never imagined it would happen during her lunch break on Europa Station. The alarm bells started ringing at exactly 12:47 p.m. Maya was sitting in the cafeteria, picking at her rehydrated pasta, when Captain Torres burst through the doors with his face pale as moonlight. "They're here," he whispered. "Real aliens. 3 ships just appeared outside our station." Maya dropped her fork. After 15 years studying alien biology and finding nothing but microbes, this was the moment she'd been waiting for her entire career. She ran to the observation deck with everyone else, pressing her face against the thick glass windows. The ships were beautiful. They looked like floating crystals, shimmering with colors that seemed to change as they moved. Maya had studied every theoretical alien spacecraft design, but these were beyond anything humans had imagined. "Dr. Rodriguez, report to Docking Bay 7 immediately," came the announcement over the speakers. Maya's heart jumped. They wanted her there for first contact. This was really happening. When she reached the docking bay, a small crowd had already gathered. Ambassador Chen was there, looking nervous in his best diplomatic suit. General Harrison stood nearby, his hand resting on his weapon. Maya could feel the tension in the air thick as fog. The airlock hissed open, and Maya held her breath. The first alien to step through was unlike anything she'd ever seen. Tall and graceful, with skin that seemed to glow softly blue. But what struck Maya most were the eyes, intelligent, curious, and somehow familiar. This being looked around the room with the same wonder Maya felt looking at the stars. "Greetings," the alien said in perfect English, though with a musical accent. "I am Princess Zara of the Andromedian Empire. We come in peace and friendship." Maya watched as Ambassador Chen stepped forward to begin the formal introductions. Princess Zara's eyes kept drifting to Maya, who was standing slightly behind the group. When their eyes met, Maya felt something she couldn't explain, like recognition, even though they'd never met. Over the next few days, Maya found herself assigned as the scientific liaison for the alien delegation. It was supposed to be a temporary position, just helping with basic communication about human biology and customs. But somehow, she ended up spending hours with Princess Zara every day. "Your species fascinates me," Zara said during one of their sessions in the biology lab. "You're so young as a civilization, yet you've accomplished so much." Maya smiled, adjusting the microscope they were using to examine human cell samples. "We could say the same about you. Your technology is incredible. Those ships of yours, how do they work?" "Energy manipulation," Zara explained simply. "But I'm more interested in your determination. You came all the way out here to Europa, so far from your home planet, just to study the possibility of life." "Someone has to ask the big questions," Maya replied. "What's out there? Are we alone? What can we learn from each other?" As the days passed, Maya noticed that Zara always found reasons to extend their meetings. What started as 1-hour sessions stretched to 3, then 4 hours. They would talk about everything, the differences between their planets, their favorite foods, their dreams and fears. Maya learned that despite being a princess, Zara felt trapped by expectations. She was supposed to marry another royal and spend her life in ceremony and protocol, but what she really wanted was to explore, to learn, to experience new things. "I've never met anyone like you," Zara confessed one evening as they watched Earth rise over Europa's horizon through the observation deck windows. "On my world, everyone thinks the same way, follows the same rules, but you question everything. You're not afraid to wonder about impossible things." Maya felt her cheeks warm. "You're not what I expected either. When I imagined meeting aliens, I thought about the science, the technology. I never thought about ... connection." They were standing closer now, close enough that Maya could see the way Zara's skin seemed to shimmer in the starlight.
Ow.
There was something electric in the air between them, something neither of them had expected. "Your people have a saying," Zara said softly, "love knows no boundaries." "I think I'm beginning to understand what that means." Now Maya's heart started beating faster. "Zara ... I know it's complicated," the princess continued. "I know our worlds are different, our biology is different. But but I can't ignore what I feel when I'm with you. The 3-week cultural exchange was supposed to be about sharing technology and establishing trade agreements. Nobody had planned for this. Maya looked into Zara's eyes and realized she felt the same impossible connection. "What happens when your delegation leaves?" Maya asked quietly. "I don't know," Zara admitted. "I know I don't want this to end." They spent the remaining days of the exchange meeting in secret, away from the cameras and diplomatic protocols. Maya showed Zara human music, human art, human ways of expressing emotion. Zara shared stories of her homeworld, of crystal cities and floating gardens that defied gravity. On the last night before the Andromedian ships were scheduled to depart, Maya and Zara sat together in the station's greenhouse, surrounded by Earth. Plants that somehow made the cold metal station feel more like home. "I have to tell you something," Zara said, taking Maya's hand. Her touch was warm despite her blue skin. "This connection we have, it's not just emotional. There's something else happening, something my people will sense when I return home." "What do you mean?" Maya asked. Zara smiled, but there was worry in her eyes. "Our species are more compatible than anyone realizes. What we've shared together. It may have consequences neither of our peoples are prepared for." Maya felt a chill run down her spine. "What kind of consequences?" "I'm not certain yet," Zara said. "But I promise you this, whatever happens, we'll face it together." The next morning, Maya watched from the observation deck as the crystal ships disappeared into space, taking Zara back to her distant world. She pressed her hand against the glass, wondering if she'd ever see the alien princess again. She didn't have to wait long to find out. 3 months had passed since the Andromedian ships vanished into deep space. Maya threw herself into her work, analyzing every piece of data from the first contact mission. But no amount of research could fill the emptiness she felt without. Maya was in her lab, staring at alien tissue samples under the microscope. When the proximity alarms started blaring again, her heart jumped. Could it be? She rushed to the observation deck along with half the station crew. There, hanging in space like a jewel, was a single Andromedian ship. Not the large diplomatic vessels from before, but something smaller, more personal. "Dr. Rodriguez, report to Docking Bay 7, came the familiar announcement. Maya's hands were shaking as she made her way through the corridors. When the airlock opened, Zara stepped through alone. No guards, no diplomatic escort, just her. But something was different. Her blue skin seemed to glow brighter than before, and her eyes held an excitement that Maya had never seen. "Maya," Zara said, her voice filled with barely controlled joy. "I had to come back. I have something incredible to tell you." Captain Torres stepped forward. "Your Highness, this is unexpected. We weren't notified of your arrival through proper channels." Zara barely glanced at him. Her attention was completely focused on Maya. "I need to speak with Dr. Rodriguez privately. What I have to say will change everything." Maya's heart was pounding as they made their way to a private conference room. Zara was practically bouncing with energy, her hands gesturing as she spoke. "Maya, what I'm about to tell you will sound impossible," Zara began, taking both of Maya's hands in hers. "But I need you to listen with an open mind," Maya said. Slowly, "What's going on? You seem different." Zara's smile was so bright it could have powered the space station. "Remember our last night together, when I said our connection might have consequences?" Maya nodded, remembering the worry in Zara's voice. "That night? Well, I was right. But Maya, these aren't bad consequences. They're miraculous." Zara paused, taking a deep breath. "You got me pregnant." The words hit Maya like a meteor. She sat down hard in the nearest chair, her mind reeling. It's impossible. We're different species. Our biology isn't compatible. That's what everyone thought," Zara said, her excitement bubbling over. "But apparently, love finds a way. The medical scanners on my homeworld confirmed it 3 weeks ago. I'm carrying your child, Maya. Our child." Maya stared at her, trying to process what she was hearing. "But how? I mean, scientifically speaking, this shouldn't be possible." "I don't know how," Zara admitted, "but it's happening." The doctors on Andromeda ran every test they could think of. The baby is healthy and growing normally. It's like our DNA found a way to work together. Maya felt tears welling up in her eyes. Joy, fear, and disbelief all crashed over her at once. Zara, this is ... This is incredible. But what does this mean for us? For our peoples? Zara's expression grew more serious. That's why I had to come right away. When news of this gets out, and it will, it's going to shake both our worlds to their core. As if summoned by her words, Maya's communication device started buzzing frantically. Messages were flooding in from Earth, from the station command. From scientific institutions across human space. Too late, Maya whispered, reading the urgent messages. Word is already spreading. Within hours, Europa Station was in chaos. New ships from Earth were requesting permission to dock. Andromedian vessels appeared in the system, though whether they were coming in peace or anger wasn't clear. Maya and Zara found themselves at the center of an interplanetary storm. Dr. Kim Chen, the station's chief medical officer, was the first to examine Zara officially. She ran scan after scan, her face growing more amazed with each result. This is medically impossible, she told Maya privately, but the scans don't lie. Princess Zara is definitely pregnant, and the genetic markers show human DNA contribution. Does this mean for the baby? Maya asked, her voice tight with worry. We don't know, Dr. Chen admitted. This is completely uncharted territory. We'll need specialists from both species working together to monitor the pregnancy. Meanwhile, the political situation was exploding. Earth's government was demanding explanations. The Andromedian Empire was in an uproar. Some called it a miracle, others called it an abomination. Admiral Brooks arrived from Earth's headquarters, his face grim. Dr. Rodriguez, do you understand? The magnitude of what's happened here, this pregnancy, could either unite our species or destroy all diplomatic relations. Maya stood her ground. With respect, Admiral, this is my personal life we're talking about. Zara and I didn't plan this. Your personal life just became interplanetary politics, he replied coldly. Zara faced even worse pressure. Communications from her homeworld brought news that her father, the Emperor, was furious. Some Andromedian nobles were calling for her exile. Others wanted to sever all ties with humanity. They think I've contaminated our bloodline, Zara told Maya, during one of their few private moments. Some of the council members are demanding that I return home immediately for treatment. Maya felt cold fear wash over her. What kind of treatment? The kind that would end the pregnancy, Zara said quietly. No, Maya said firmly. We won't let that happen. But even as they held each other, both women knew they were facing forces much larger than themselves. The first human-alien pregnancy in history was about to become the biggest test of interspecies relations either civilization had ever faced. News reports were calling it everything from a miracle to a disaster. Scientists were demanding access to study the pregnancy. Politicians were arguing about the implications for future human-alien contact. Through it all, Maya and Zara found strength in each other. Whatever came next, they would face it together. Their love had already accomplished the impossible once. Maybe it could do so again. But as more ships arrived in the Europa system, both women realized their quiet romance had become something much bigger than they ever imagined. The fate of two civilizations might now rest on the tiny life growing inside Zara. The universe was watching, and everything was about to change. The morning after Zara's announcement, Europa Station looked like a war zone. Ships from both Earth and Andromeda filled the space around the station. News crews, diplomats, scientists, and military officials all wanted answers about the impossible. Pregnancy. Maya woke up to find armed guards outside her quarters. Not to protect her, she realized with growing alarm, but to watch her every move. Dr. Rodriguez, came a sharp voice through her door. Admiral Brooks requires your immediate presence in Conference Room Alpha. Maya dressed quickly and made her way through corridors buzzing with activity. Scientists from both species were setting up equipment everywhere. She spotted Andromedian technology she'd never seen before being installed alongside human medical scanners. The conference room was packed. Earth officials sat on one side of a long table, while Andromedian delegates occupied the other. The tension was so thick Maya could almost taste it. Dr. Rodriguez, Admiral Brooks, began without pleasantries. We need to understand exactly what happened between you and Princess Zara. Every detail. Maya felt her cheeks burn. That's private, Admiral. An Andromedian official, tall with silver markings across his blue skin, leaned forward. Privacy is a luxury neither of our species can afford right now. This pregnancy threatens the stability of both our civilizations. Threatens? Maya shot back. Offers incredible opportunities. That depends, Admiral Brooks said coldly, on whether this was an accident or something more deliberate. Before Maya could respond, the door opened and Zara entered, flanked. By her own guards, she looked tired but determined. The pregnancy was not planned by either of us, Zara announced firmly. But now that it's happened, we intend to see it through. The Andromedian official's expression darkened. Princess, your father has ordered your immediate return to Andromeda for proper medical evaluation. I'm not going anywhere, Zara replied. This pregnancy requires monitoring by specialists from both species. I'm staying here. What followed was the most intense argument Maya had ever witnessed. Voices were raised in multiple languages. Threats were made. At one point, the Andromedian delegate actually stood up and declared that continuing the pregnancy could be considered an act of war. Enough. Dr. Chen interrupted, entering with a tablet full of scan results. While you're all arguing politics, I've been studying the medical reality. What I've found is extraordinary. She activated the room's holographic display, showing a 3D image of Zara's developing baby. Maya gasped. The tiny form looked perfectly normal, showing characteristics of both human and Andromedian features. The fetus is developing normally according to both species standards, Dr. Chen explained. But more than that, it seems to be adapting. The DNA is literally rewriting itself to be compatible with both physiologies. A human scientist from Earth leaned forward. That's impossible. DNA doesn't work that way. Apparently it does when love is involved, Dr. Chen said quietly. I've never seen anything like it. The baby is essentially creating a new hybrid species. The room fell silent as everyone absorbed this information. Maya felt tears welling up as she looked at the image of their child. It was real. It was healthy. It was a miracle. But not everyone saw it that way. This is exactly what we feared, the Andromedian official said. Contamination of pure bloodlines. Princess, you must end this now, before it goes too far. Never, Zara said firmly, moving to stand beside Maya. This child is a gift, not a mistake. Over the following days, the situation grew more complex. News of the pregnancy had leaked to both planets, causing massive public reactions. On Earth, people were split between excitement and fear. Some saw it as the next step in human evolution. Others worried about the implications of mixing with alien DNA. On Andromeda, the reaction was even more divided. The Royal Council was in chaos. Nobles demanded Zara's immediate exile. Others argued that the pregnancy could be a sign of divine blessing. Maya found herself subjected to test after test. Blood samples, genetic scans, psychological evaluations. Every aspect of her biology was being studied by teams of scientists from both species. How are you holding up? Zara asked during one of their brief moments alone together. I feel like a lab rat, Maya admitted. I'd go through anything for our baby. Zara took her hand. The doctors say everything is progressing normally. The baby is healthy and growing stronger every day. Maya smiled, placing her other hand on Zara's still flat stomach. I can't believe we created a new species. We created more than that, Zara said softly. We created hope. But hope was in short supply as the political crisis deepened. Earth's government was under pressure from xenophobic groups who saw the pregnancy as a threat to human purity. Several Earth colonies had already declared they would refuse to recognize any hybrid offspring as human citizens. The Andromedian Empire was facing similar challenges. Emperor Theron, Zara's father, was being pressured by conservative nobles to disown his daughter entirely. Some were even calling for military action to prevent what they saw as genetic contamination. Your father sent another message, Zara told Maya one evening, her voice heavy with sadness. He's given me an ultimatum. Turn home immediately and end the pregnancy, or be stripped of my royal title and exiled forever. Maya felt anger rising in her chest. What did you tell him? That some things are more important than titles, Zara replied. I choose you and our child over everything else. The decision came with immediate consequences. Within hours, official announcements declared that Princess Zara was no longer heir to the Andromedian throne. She had been formally disowned by the royal family, but unexpected support began emerging from surprising places. Young people on both planets started protests demanding acceptance of the pregnancy. Scientists published papers about the incredible biological breakthrough. Even some military officials argued that the hybrid child could be the key to better human-alien relations. We're making history, Maya told Zara as they watched news reports of supporters gathering in major cities across human space. Yes, Zara. Agreed, but at what cost? The answer came sooner than either of them expected. Reports started coming in of violent clashes between supporters and opponents on both planets. The pregnancy that had started as a personal miracle was tearing two civilizations apart. As Maya fell asleep that night with Zara beside her, she wondered if their love was strong enough to heal the divisions they had accidentally created. Their baby wasn't even born yet, but it was already changing the universe in ways no one could have predicted. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new tests, and new political storms. But tonight, in the quiet of their quarters, Maya felt only gratitude for the impossible life growing inside the woman she loved. Whatever came next, they would face it together. 6 months into the pregnancy, everything had changed. Zara's belly had grown round and beautiful, and Maya could feel their baby moving whenever she placed her hand there. But the world around them was still in chaos. Maya woke up to another day of protests outside Europa Station. Through the observation windows, she could see ships from both planets holding demonstrations in space. Some carried banners supporting the pregnancy, others demanded immediate intervention. The baby's been kicking all morning, Zara said, stretching as she got out of bed. Her pregnancy glow made her blue skin shimmer like starlight. Little one is going to be as stubborn as both of us. Amia smiled, helping Zara to her feet. The pregnancy had been surprisingly normal, considering it was the first of its kind. Dr. Chen monitored them daily, and every scan showed a healthy, developing baby with an incredible mix of human and Andromedian features. Dr. Rodriguez, came the familiar voice through their communication system. Captain Torres needs to see you in his office immediately. Maya sighed. These urgent meetings had become a daily routine. Each one brought new complications from Earth, Andromeda, or both. Captain Torres looked exhausted when they arrived. Dark circles shadowed his eyes, and his desk was covered with reports and messages. We have a problem, he began without preamble. Actually, we have several problems. Earth's command is threatening to shut down the station if we don't send Princess Zara back to her people. The Andromedian fleet is demanding we hand you over for questioning. And the news media from both planets is offering ridiculous amounts of money for exclusive interviews. What else is new? Maya asked tiredly. This is new, Torres said, activating his holographic display. We've received a formal proposal from the Neutral Zone Commission. They want to offer you both citizenship and protection on Space Station Unity. Maya had heard of Unity Station. It was a massive neutral space facility built in the empty region between human and Andromedian space. Originally designed for trade negotiations, it had evolved into a haven for those who didn't fit neatly into either civilization. They're offering us a new home, Zara asked, her hand instinctively moving to her belly. Continued. They want to establish a research center there, dedicated to studying interspecies biology and promoting peaceful cooperation. You two would be the founding directors. Maya felt hope stirring in her chest for the first time in months. A place where we could raise our child without political interference? The neutral zone has its own laws, Torres explained. Neither Earth nor Andromeda can touch you there, but there's a catch. Once you accept their protection, you can never return to your home planets. The weight of that decision settled over them like gravity. Maya thought about Earth, about the friends and family she'd be leaving behind forever. But then she looked at Zara and their unborn child, and the choice became clear. "When can we leave?" Maya asked. 3 weeks later, they were packing their few belongings aboard a transport ship bound for Unity Station. Dr. Chen had agreed to come with them, unable to resist the chance to study the most unique pregnancy in galactic history. "Are you sure about this?" Zara asked, as they watched Europa Station shrink in the distance. "You're giving up everything you've ever known?" "I'm not giving up anything," Maya replied, taking Zara's hand. "I'm choosing everything that matters, Unity." Station was unlike anything Maya had ever seen. It's massive and sprawling. It housed thousands of beings from dozens of different species. Humans and Andromedians worked side by side with aliens Maya didn't even recognize. It was a true melting pot of galactic civilization. Their new quarters were spacious and comfortable, with windows that looked out at the stars from every direction. Best of all, they could walk through the corridors without being followed by guards or reporters. "This feels like home," Zara said, settling into a chair designed to accommodate her growing belly. Dr. Chen had set up a state-of-the-art medical facility on the station. For the first time, she could study the pregnancy without political interference from either government. "The baby's development is accelerating," she told them during a routine checkup. "It's as if the hybrid genetics are optimizing for the best traits from both species." Maya watched the ultrasound display, amazed by their child's perfect form. "How much longer?" "Based on both human and Andromedan gestation periods, I'd estimate 6 more weeks," Dr. Chen replied. "But with this being the first hybrid pregnancy, we're in uncharted territory." As the weeks passed, Maya and Zara began building their new life on Unity Station. They established the Interspecies Research Foundation, dedicated to promoting understanding between different civilizations. Funding poured in from progressive groups on both Earth and Andromeda who saw their work as vital for the future. "We're getting requests for help from couples all across the galaxy," Maya told Zara one evening as she sorted through applications. "Apparently, we're not the only ones who've fallen in love across species lines." Zara smiled, rubbing her very round belly. "Our little one is already making a difference, and they're not even born yet." The political situation back home was gradually improving too. Emperor Theron had finally made a public statement expressing his hope for his daughter's health and happiness, though he stopped short of fully endorsing the pregnancy. On Earth, public opinion polls showed growing acceptance of interspecies relationships. "My father sent a private message," Zara told Maya one day, tears in her eyes. "He said he's proud of my courage, even if he can't say so publicly yet." Maya felt her own eyes welling up. "Maybe our baby will be the bridge that finally brings our peoples together." "Oh, speaking of our baby," Zara said with a slight grimace, "I think it's time to finalize the birth preparations. This little one is getting impatient." Dr. Chen had assembled a team of the best medical experts from both species. They developed entirely new protocols for the hybrid birth, combining human and Andromedian medical techniques. "Everything is ready," Dr. Chen assured them during their final preparation meeting. "The birth chamber can adapt to any complications. We have specialists standing by from both civilizations. Your baby will be the safest newborn in the galaxy." As Maya helped Zara prepare for bed that night, she felt a sense of peace she hadn't experienced in months. Tomorrow could bring anything. But they were ready. They had each other, they had a new home, and soon they would have their miracle child. "I love you," Maya whispered, settling beside Zara in their bed. "I love you too," Zara replied, taking Maya's hand and placing it on her belly. "Both of you." As if responding to their voices, the baby gave a strong kick. Maya laughed, feeling tears of joy on her cheeks. Their child was almost here, ready to enter a universe that was already better because of their love. Whatever challenges lay ahead, their family was ready to face them together. Maya woke up at 3 a.m. to Zara shaking her shoulder gently. "Maya," Zara whispered, her voice tight with excitement and pain. "I think it's time." Maya bolted upright, instantly alert. Zara was sitting on the edge of their bed, breathing slowly through what was obviously a contraction. "Are you sure?" Maya asked, though she could see the answer in Zara's glowing eyes. "The contractions started an hour ago," Zara said, gripping Maya's hand as another wave hit. They're getting stronger. Maya's heart raced as she helped Zara to the medical bay. This was it. After 9 months of uncertainty, politics, and preparation, their baby was finally ready to meet the universe. Dr. Chen was waiting for them. Having been alerted by the monitoring systems, the medical bay had been transformed into something that looked like a combination of human delivery room and Andromedian healing chamber. "How are you feeling, Zara?" Dr. Chen asked, helping her onto the specially designed bed that could adjust to both human and Andromedian physiology. "Nervous," Zara admitted, but excited. So very excited. The next few hours passed in a blur of medical scans, breathing exercises, and increasingly intense contractions. Maya stayed by Zara's side the entire time, holding her hand and whispering encouragements. "You're doing amazing," Maya told her, as Zara squeezed her hand during a particularly strong contraction. "Our baby is so lucky to have you as a mother." "We're both lucky," Zara replied between breaths. "This little one gets the best of both our worlds." As dawn broke over Unity Station, the contractions intensified. Dr. Chen monitored every vital sign from both mother and baby, her face showing wonder at how smoothly everything was progressing. "This is remarkable," she murmured to her assistant. "Despite being the first hybrid birth in history, everything is proceeding normally." By mid-morning, news of the labor had spread throughout the station. Beings from dozens of different species gathered in the corridors outside the medical bay, creating an impromptu celebration. Maya could hear their voices through the walls. Songs, chants, and words of encouragement in languages from across the galaxy. "The whole station is cheering for us," Maya told Zara, tears in her eyes. "For our baby," Zara corrected with a tired smile. "Everyone knows this little one represents hope for the future." At 2:47 p.m., exactly 9 months after that first night Maya and Zara spent together, their baby entered the world. "It's perfect," Dr. Chen announced, her voice filled with awe, "completely healthy and absolutely beautiful." Maya looked at their newborn child and felt her heart explode with love. The baby had Zara's delicate features and luminous skin, but with a soft pink glow instead of blue. Tiny fingers and toes were perfectly formed, and when the baby opened its eyes, Maya saw her own brown eyes looking back at her. "Hello, little one," Maya whispered, tears streaming down her face. "We've been waiting so long to meet you." Zara reached up with shaking hands to hold their child. "You're perfect," she breathed. "Absolutely perfect." The baby made a soft cooing sound that seemed to contain elements of both human and Andromedian vocal patterns. It was unlike anything anyone had ever heard before, a completely new form of communication for a completely new kind of being. "Should we call our miracle?" Zara asked softly. Maya had been thinking about names for months. "How about River? It represents the flow between two different places, bringing them together." Riva, Zara repeated, testing the name. "Love it. River Chen Zara Rodriguez." Dr. Chen ran her final scans, while Maya and Zara marveled at their child. "All vital signs are perfect," she announced. "River is healthy, strong, and showing remarkable adaptation capabilities. This baby truly is the bridge between our species." Word of the successful birth spread across the galaxy faster than light. Within hours, messages of congratulations were pouring in from both Earth and Andromeda. Even some of the political leaders who had opposed the pregnancy sent their well wishes. "Emperor." Theron's message was the most surprising. "To my daughter and her chosen family, may this child bring the peace and understanding our civilizations need. You have my blessing." Maya felt tears of relief reading those words. "Shh. Your father finally accepts us." "River changed his mind," Zara said, holding their sleeping baby. "How could anyone look at this perfect little face and see anything but hope?" The medical teams from both species were amazed by River's development. The baby seemed to instinctively know how to communicate with both humans and Andromedians, responding to voices and touches from both species with equal comfort. "River is going to grow up truly bilingual," Dr. Chen observed, "not just in language, but in understanding both cultures completely." As the days passed, Maya and Zara settled into parenthood with surprising ease. River was a peaceful baby, sleeping well and eating without problems. The hybrid physiology seemed to make everything work better, not worse. I think River is going to be smarter than both of us combined, Maya laughed as she watched their 3-week-old baby tracking movement with unusually alert eyes. Good, Zara replied. This universe needs all the intelligence it can get. The Interspecies Research Foundation they had established was now receiving applications from hundreds of mixed couples across the galaxy. River's successful birth had opened doors that many thought would remain closed forever. We're getting requests for advice from species I've never even heard of, Maya told Zara as she sorted through their correspondence. Apparently, love really is universal. 6 months after River's birth, Maya and Zara, their baby, attended the signing of the historic Interspecies Cooperation Treaty aboard Unity Station. Representatives from dozens of civilizations had come together to establish new protocols for peaceful contact and cooperation. Maya sat in the audience, holding River while Zara delivered a speech about the power of love to overcome differences. This treaty represents more than just political agreements, Zara told the assembled delegates. It represents the recognition that our diversity makes us stronger, not weaker. My family is living proof that different species can not only coexist, but create something beautiful together. As applause filled the assembly hall, River looked up at Maya with those wise, ancient eyes that seemed to hold the knowledge of both worlds. What do you think, little one? Maya whispered. Ready to help build a better universe? River gurgled happily, reaching tiny hands toward the stars visible through the assembly hall's massive windows. Maya smiled, knowing that their child would grow up in a galaxy where love had no boundaries, where being different was celebrated rather than feared, and where one impossible pregnancy had changed everything. Their love story had become a bridge between worlds, and River was the living symbol of what was possible when hearts connected across the vastness of space. The future had never looked brighter.